And now for more insights on the WEF meeting, we're joined by Chen, Chair of Greater China of World Economic Forum. Thank you so much for making time for this, Ming. So let's start with the theme for this year, cooperation in a fragmented world. Is there a prevailing pessimism of rising fragmentation, and how much do you think the WEF can do to build consensus and promote collaboration?
Well, this is not really regarding pessimism or optimism. It's really the reality. And if we look this back to 5 years ago, U.S.-China started the trade dispute, and indeed that dispute itself has not ended today, and that the spillover of the dispute itself has not just been between these two countries. Actually, is much wider to this. 3 years ago, Britain has exited the European Union, and then 3 years ago we encountered with pandemic. And 1 year ago, Russia invaded Ukraine. So when I fly over from Beijing to Europe, I have to fly down and fly out. We are not flying over to Russia. So we are living in a fragmented world. Right. This is the reality. It's not a theory. What the WEF can do is that we are forcing with our neutrality and impartiality, and we are fostering for the dialogue and collaborations. Only dialogue and collaboration itself will help the world to bridge, to find the solutions, and to make the world a better place to live.
And that's certainly much needed in the world today. And the global economy is still reeling from multiple shocks. And 2023 marks a crucial year for China to reinvigorate its economy. From your experiences at the WEF, how should China further open up to the world and enhance connectivity to provide more growth impetus to the world economy?
China certainly is playing a pivotal role in the world economy as the second largest economy and the largest destination for foreign investment, and the largest trade partners for many countries in the world. And China's role is very, very critical and very crucial. And in the last 2 days, and I have met with many multinational company heads, and they all talked about China. They have interest into China, and they want to understand what is going on in China, and so on and so forth. So the interest is very, very strong. The question is how China is also going to be linked up with the rest of the world. And certainly I would encourage Chinese enterprises to be more engaged with a platform like WEF, so that we can demonstrate to the world, and that we can communicate to the world what is going on in China, and that we can also use this window to understand, the world from this platform itself. I think this is something very, very important, for China to be linked to the rest of the world.
And they will look forward to more communication between China and the world's delegates from around the world. And what is the general perception of China's business opportunities and risks among global business leaders? What can be done by China's policymakers to further encourage MNCs and address their concerns such as supply chain security?
Certainly, China represents one of the largest opportunity in the world, and every company understands this because with the growth, with the size of the market, and the multinational companies, for instance, they are very much interested in China. Nevertheless, China is facing its own challenges. For instance, we have just recently lifted the COVID restrictions that would help China to be more connected to the rest of the world. And certainly the policy itself, China has assured the world many times over the years that we will continue to open up, and we will continue to treat each of the business type on the fair ground, and so on and so forth. But in my personal view, the implementation of the policy itself is very, very critical, so that we create an even playground for every type of the businesses. This is something I think is something that the regulators need to think very, very carefully and follow this through and very, very strictly.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with us. And that was Chen, Chair of Greater China at World Economic Forum for us.